welcome everyone. I just wanted to share a few thoughts before we start the presentations this morning. And this is now our third coffee break workshop for the Commit project on the theme of innovative and creative financing models for the low carbon SME transition. So a lot of you will know me, but just for the recording and for the sake of the broader audience, my name is Liliana Fonseca. I'm a research associate at the European Policies Research Center, and we are the advisory partner for the Commit project. I'll be moderating the session today, and I will ask you to, if you have any questions, to save them for the Q&A discussion, the Q&A portion at the end of the seminar. You can also ask them in the chat, and then we will get to them in that stage. So why focus on SMEs and green finance? So SMEs, of course, are a big component of the Commit project, and this is because they make up over 99% of businesses across Europe. They are the backbone of local economies and the drivers of employment. But when it comes to financing the low carbon transition, many SMEs face a unique set of challenges, of course. So first, the investment needs in areas like energy efficiency, clean mobility, or green manufacturing, they often require upfront capital that's hard to access. And traditional financial institutions, they may see these projects as too small, too risky, or too complex to underwrite without significant guarantees, which is difficult, of course, for SMEs. And second, existing funding programs, whether public or private, they can be difficult to navigate. Application procedures are often resource intensive, timelines are misaligned with business cycles sometimes, and the language or the eligibility criteria can often exclude SMEs, or they are not SME friendly, let's say. Finally, the financial ecosystem itself is not always adapted to SME realities. Green finance instruments tend to be designed with larger firms or infrastructure in mind, and this leaves a gap or a mismatch between what SMEs need and what is available. So that's why we are turning our focus today to more innovative or creative financing approaches or alternative financing approaches, models that speak to the scale, the agility, and the risk profile of SMEs that can help unlock their transformative potential for what is a huge segment of the economy. So what can constitute alternatives to the traditional financing models? So these innovative models, as we call them, they can be more agile and in some cases more tailored to the types of low carbon projects we're hoping to see grow among SMEs, to see more adopted. A few examples include crowdfunding or peer-to-peer lending, and we'll hear about that today from Stara Zagora. These platforms allow enterprises to raise capital directly from individuals, sometimes even from their own communities or customer base. And this can be in the form of loans or equity. And they can be faster and more flexible, though they still require, of course, strong communication and trust. Other models can be blended financing, where we see public and private capital combined strategically. This can make smaller or greener projects more attractive to institutional investors. There's also more cooperative or community-based models. In some regions, cooperatives or local energy communities are pooling funds to support energy transitions. And I believe we'll hear more about this from Western Macedonia. There's also fintech-enabled tools from digital platforms that can automate loan assessments to more blockchain-based traceability for green investments. So it's all financial technology that is helping to reduce transaction costs and improve transparency. There's also revolving funds or pay-as-you-save schemes. So there's different models, and the goal today is to discuss a few experiences with, sorry, there's someone that might not be muted, so if I could ask you to mute during the presentation. Maybe Rebecca, you can help me, okay. So yes, so the goal today is to discuss a few experiences with innovative models across our Commit Projects partner regions, and hopefully then learn from this knowledge exchange exercise about what works and what is more challenging in their implementation. So our guiding question today, what we'll explore is how can innovative financing mechanisms accelerate the low carbon transition for SMEs? And we're interested in both tested practices and proved experiences, and especially in the practical lessons emerging from local and regional contexts. We'll begin with a few brief presentations from our partners. So first, we'll have a presentation from Rogaland on creative public-private funding architecture. Then this will be followed by the Stara Zagora presentation on peer-to-peer lending. Energy cooperatives in Western Macedonia will follow. And finally, we'll have a presentation from Aalborg on public-private cooperation. And this will all be followed by Q&A. So I will leave now the floor to Rogaland, and I'll stop sharing so that you can share.
Hello, do you see my presentation now? Oh,
yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Trude, and I work as an advisor in Rogaland County Council together with Helene, and I mainly work with different types of regional funding. Today I will present the Ullaføre Fund for you in a few slides as one example of public-private funding mechanism. First, I want to say a little bit about the background for the Ullaføre Fund. It got its name from the largest hydropower plant in Northern Europe. The rights to this hydropower plant is owned by Rogaland County Council, together with two electricity companies on the west coast of Norway, Lyse and SKL. Because of this major intervention in the nature, when they built this, the companies decided that they wanted to give something back to the community, and that is how the fund was established back in 2010. To get funding for a project, it has to contribute to green or low carbon transition for business and industry, or it has to foster higher education in Rogaland County, focusing on education and research, tech solutions, and other useful measures for societal development. This year, the board of the Ullaføre Fund has decided that 20 million kroner can be handed out after a competition, and the minimum of support to the project are set to 2 million kroner. This Ullaføre Fund is unique for Rogaland, and it is a good example of how public and private can work together and use this fund to accelerate the green transition and also contribute to value creation in the county. So this is my last slide, and I hope this gave some ideas what this fund is and how public and private can work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trude. I will move on then to the next presentation, and I will ask anyone that has questions on the Ullaføre Fund, if I said it correctly, that they can introduce their questions in the chat. So, Gabriella, I think you'll be presenting for Stara Zagora.
Yes, just a moment. Hello, everybody. I will take the floor now and tell you a few words about an alternative way of financing. Okay. This is the peer-to-peer lending. I'll start with the definition. So basically, this is a way of direct matching of borrowers and lenders, which is made through an online platform. And this allows them to bypass traditional financial intermediaries like banks. In short, that is a way for individuals or businesses to lend money directly to other individuals or businesses. And what is the best part is that this often results in better interest rates for both sides. In the case of the SMEs, which are typically considered as more unsecure borrowers, especially the micro ones and the one with way too innovative ideas. The P2P lending can be an alternative way of providing the funds they need for their projects once they are already rejected by the traditional banks. How this works? Basically, like everything nowadays, through online platforms, there are quite a few working globally, on European level, and locally as well. These platforms are basically websites, and what they do is facilitate all the parts of the process. For example, check the loan origin, credit assessment, payment processing, the legal compliance. The process is usually much faster and transparent than the one that the traditional banking offers. And that is why it's largely believed that the P2P lending democratizes finance by making technology a way to connect those who need capital with those who have capital to invest. Let me. Yep, it is good to know that there are different regulations in the different EU countries, but there is a EU level authority which guarantees that the platform and the credit borrowers are legit, so to say. Okay. All right, Yep. Now this is the European crowdfunding service provider, which is an institution which was established in 2021, and it makes sure that the crowdfunding platforms are legit, and they look for the projects that applied that complied under the 5 million per year per project rule. As you see, the best part is that the options are indeed greater, and SMEs really can benefit from those. Yep, since the majority of the European SMEs really rely heavily on the bank loans, for example, in Bulgaria or Greece, this is taking up to 90% of the all capital they use. So such alternatives, platforms or ways of funding can be seen as a really good opportunity for them. I will briefly present the Bulgarian scene for the P2P lending. At the moment, it represents a modest portion of the financial services, and it is evaluated at around 50 million euro per year, which is not a great sum, but as I will show in a moment, it is really proven to be a very good alternative, especially for SMEs which are working in the more innovative fields like innovative agri-tech technologies, space, climate-friendly products. Here I have outlined 4 examples of startups which started their ideas in such online platforms and succeeded to raise more than they expected. For example, this is the first cargo drone airline, which is located in Sofia. they started a simple online company, which allowed them to make the first how to say yeah, they call it the Black Swan first line for their cargo drones, and they were able to conduct the flight tests. So basically, the business received what it needed to start working. The second company is as well working in a field which is a more alternative one. This is the space. And crowdfunding in their case allowed them to produce their nanosatellites. We are coming to Ondo Smart Farming, which is a company operating in southeastern Bulgaria as well, which is, let's say, in the region of Stara Zagora. And as well developed their devices, which are basically IoT devices for climate surveillance and intervention. And starting locally, these companies made it globally, so to say, by using the P2P option for their initial project. And the last company is Kupfi. It is the most well known. It's as well in the southeastern Bulgarian, in the Plovdiv area. They started with the idea of edible coffee cup. And it took them around 10 years to come to the P2P option for funding their project. But they did it, and they did it large. They made a deal with Lavazza, so they are selling their edible cups regularly. They have the scale to do so, and at the moment they export to 19 countries, supplying Wimbledon and Etihad's plastic-free flights. These are a few examples, but something that is here to show us that once the traditional banking and financing is not working, there are other alternatives. As a conclusion, one more time, I would like to outline that there are different regulations for the peer-to-peer lending in the different countries. So it's a great idea to offer it to our stakeholders, but always make sure to check the regulations in your respective regions. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriela. That was very interesting, especially how they managed to secure so much funding. Then maybe if Tilda, are you ready as well? Would you be able to present? Okay.
Sure. So my name is Tilda, and I'm an international project manager at Green Hub Denmark. And it's a traditional public-private partnership, but with an innovative finance model where members pay with their time instead of paying a membership fee. So could you take the next slide, please? Or can I do that myself? No. I will ask, is that okay, Rebecca?
That's fine, yes.
Okay, cool. So this is just for scale. This is a presentation I gave in South Korea last year. So just so you know where Europe is, I guess all of you know, and then where is Aalborg? And next, please. So in February 2020, just about 2 weeks before Denmark went into the Corona lockdown, the Aalborg Utility Company, the Aalborg Municipality, Aalborg University, and the Port of Aalborg, and our regional office on the Confederation of Danish Industry, they had a first meeting on establishing Green Hub Denmark. Next, please. And the reason back then, it has changed now. The reason back then was to act on a governmental recommendation of creating physical test beds where energy technologies could be tested in large scale and in a real life urban setting. And we thought that Aalborg municipality was the perfect fit for that. Okay, next slide, please.
Hvad skal der til for at skabe en grøn succeshistorie? Der er nok én ting, der er vigtigere end alt andet. Hos Hydrogen Valley er vi dybt afhængige af partnerskaber. Både i forhold til at trække på hinandens kompetencer, erfaringer og viden, men også i forhold til at søge midler. Det er kompliceret og krævende at søge projektmidler, men i Green Hub Denmark inddrager vi hinanden og får bedre og mere innovative projekter.
Hos Teknologisk Institut hjælper vi virksomheder med at udvikle, teste og opskalere deres løsninger. Det kræver en rigtig tæt dialog med virksomhederne. Det kræver også et tæt samarbejde og masser af gensidig tillid. Det har vi i vores netværk her hos Green Hub Denmark. Green Hub Denmark hjælper også med at varetage interesser for partnerne og står for en stor del af den kommunikation, både internt og eksternt.
En ting er, hvordan du tester din grønne løsning, men den anden er, hvor du tester den. Det er afgørende for at skabe en grøn succeshistorie. Hos Grøngas har vi en energiø med CO2-fangst og Power-to-X. For os betød samarbejdet med Green Hub Denmark, at vi kom med i erhvervsfyrtårnets CO2-vision, og det har reduceret vores økonomiske risiko markant.
Hos Port of Aalborg har vi etableret et testcenter, og Green Hub Denmark er et vigtigt bindeled, som er med til at sikre, at de rette aktører mødes og tester og demonstrerer deres løsninger. Green Hub Denmark er med til at sikre netværket mellem virksomheder, havn og vidensinstitutioner.
Men det handler ikke kun om Danmark, det handler om verden. Vi oplever stor interesse fra internationale virksomheder og det vi kan i Nordjylland. Hos Norwegian Hydrogen har vi haft besøg af både en hollandsk, østrigsk og tysk delegation her på vores anlæg. Det er en mulighed for at fremvise vores løsninger for internationale aktører, men selvfølgelig også for at udvide vores netværk og få sparring. Når de internationale delegationer kommer på besøg, er det Green Hub Danmark, der tager imod og planlægger det hele gennem deres samarbejdspartnere.
After Green Hub Denmark visited us in Canada, they extended an invitation for me to visit them in North Jutland, and I was very impressed by all the work that was going on there. I very much look forward to strengthening my relationship with the people at Green Hub Denmark and working together in this exciting new area.
All right, thank you so much. But first I want to say that Green Hub Denmark just celebrated its 5th year anniversary, and we have now multiple test areas that has been established, not only in Aalborg municipality, but throughout the entire North Denmark region called North Jutland. The partnership has also evolved into much more than a partnership. It has almost taken on like a characteristic of a community. And that was what I was hoping you would experience through the video. So now Green Hub Denmark has gone from its 5 founding fathers to include all the 11 municipalities in the region, 4 different ports and several utility companies, business organizations and innovation clusters, our regional EU office, Hydrogen Valley, research institutions. And so now we cover a big triple helix group of members or partners. Next, please. Thank you. But what is it that makes this partnership stand out opposed to all the other public-private partnerships out there? We like to believe that is trust and personal relations and all the tangible results that has derived from that. And this is where our innovative finance model comes in, because it is free of charge to be partner in Green Hub. You don't need to pay a membership fee or anything. Instead, you're expected to pay with your time. So no one also works for Green Hub Denmark. We're all employed by our respective organization. Myself, I'm employed by Aalborg municipality, but I work under the Green Hub name. And everyone is free to use the name. And the partnership allows the different municipal partners to work regionally and go beyond their respective municipal borders. And we once talked about drawing up like a contract for the amount of hours each partner is meant to put into the partnership, but in practice, it has not been necessary. And that is despite the fact that we put in quite a lot of hours into this. We are 30 people and we meet online once a week, every Wednesday afternoon. So this afternoon. And it is okay not to participate every time because not everyone can participate every time. And then approximately once a month, we meet for a whole day in person. And here everyone can bring colleagues that are relevant for the topic on the specific agenda. And then we take turns hosting. So we end up visiting each other all over the region. And we often have a site visit where they showcase some of their technologies or some of their challenges. And it might seem like a lot of hours, but that is the exact success of the partnership. The fact that we meet so often, it creates a high level of trust and personal relations. And that gives us easy access to potential project partners because we know each other so well. So I can easily reach out to one of the other municipalities because I know Paul up in Hjørring very well. So it's fast to make that that consortium of for a new project. And this personal relations has been the root cause for all the external funding we've been able to get for the entire region through applications to the structural funds and the Just Transition Fund. So instead of being in competition with each other, we pool all our knowledge and our challenges together. And then we write these large-scale applications that benefit more than just one partner in the region. And it is worth mentioning that not all partners have to be involved in all the projects. It can be a lot of us, it can only be like 2 or 3 of us. But we use those Wednesday meetings to discuss this. So in our first 5 years of existence, we've obtained 45 million euros, primarily within the field of carbon capture, utilization and storage. And we think that is a pretty significant amount of money we've been able to gather. One last note is that we do have a small portion of external funding, but that is from our something called Business Region North Denmark, which is like a policy collaboration between the 11 municipalities. That is a membership fee-based organization. We get around 1 million kroner, which isn't that much for 2 years. And that funding primarily goes to making a video like the one you saw before, our websites, and our annual noon to noon seminar. So it really isn't a lot. Everything else is done by people's free time. And I think that the next slide is my final goodbye slide and questions. And I think that is it for me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hilda. That was very interesting, and I look forward to hear more about it. Maybe there'll be more questions about it at the end. So we don't waste too much time. I will ask Lefteris then to try sharing his slide.
Very briefly, thank you very much. I will try to speak. I'm trying speaking about the situation in Western Macedonia, about the whole situation, of course, about transition, but especially for energy communities. Next slide, please. Well, this is a view from my window from my village in Kozani. I grow with this view for many decades. Next slide, please. And this is the, this were the situation in our region for many decades, also since 1950, I'm sorry. And everybody, the lignite industry was the elephant in the room here for many years. Next slide, please. This is a view with numbers of lignite industry in Western Macedonia. Next slide, please. The main figure is that 75% of Greece energy was produced in the Western Macedonia, was the heart of energy system for Greece, and with exploitation of lignite, of local lignite. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide. This is some information about the Western Macedonia. It is, of course, the only landlocked region in Greece with any connect with the sea. It's not like Creta, it's not like Peloponnese, of course it's not like Mykonos. It's very difficult situation there, and lignite activity includes open cost mines of 160,000 acres total area. Now, still, 3 lignite fire power plants of 5 units are now in operation, representing the 20% of thermal units and 10% of the total installed net capacity of the interconnected system. And 100,000 citizens of Kozani, Ptolemais, and Amido, the 3 main cities, are heated by district heating systems from lignite power plants. Next slide, please. As I mentioned before, the regional economic development has one-dimensional characteristics focused on the energy sector, with all the trades and pathogenesis established through the years. Traditional professional skills have been substantially confined. A high negative environmental impact has caused with strong pressure both on human and natural environment. At the peak of lignite production, more than 34% of the gross added value of the region, about 1 billion, came from the mining and energy sector. 22 approximately 1,000 of direct, indirect, inductive jobs are related to the power production industry. Next slide. I will speak later for employment rate. Here is from Greenpeace made an active in power plants, and they wrote "Go Solar" in a tower in the biggest power plant of the region. Next slide. Yes, the region has a very important issue, of course, is the unemployment rate. For many decades is bigger than the national unemployment rate. These figures are 2 years ago, but almost the problem here is very important, very huge. I think it's a structure problem. Is that it is caused from the structure of our productive structure of our region. Next slide, please. At 2019, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has announced that at the UN Climate Action Summit in New York that Greece will close all its lignite power plants by 2028 at the latest. And that was a shock for locals, for local society. Next, please. But the transition in Greece was already underway long before 2019. With some figures about the lignite industry. As you can see, the lignite industry, it was under pressure for many years, but the resistance of local social and political bodies in understanding the situation, it was very strong. We had a very important resistance, very very concrete resistance, because, and I think, the first step to solve a problem is to recognize the problem, acknowledge the problem. Next slide, please. And now this is the situation of Western Macedonia, very huge areas installation. After 2019, we have a boom of areas installations, especially of photovoltaics. This process happens with anarchy, with limited local participation, but low local participation. And as a result, citizens view areas with suspicion. Only the Just PPC, the owner of lignite fields, planning to develop more than 2 gigawatt solar farms in the old lignite mines. Next slide, please. This is the largest solar farm of Europe, but now is under construction bigger solar farms than this. Next slide. It is another view. Now, as a problem, we try to figure this problem. We try to organize another opportunity to provide another view. We try to establish non-profitable energy communities in Kozani. From 2022, we established 3 energy communities in the local area. But since 2024, these 3 energy communities have merged in one strong energy community. Our main goal is to provide another view, to provide the energy participation in this energy transition, this huge energy transition, this historical energy transition, and we need to see more local society involvement of this situation. Next slide, please. These some views about about energy communities in Greece. After 2018, we are facing an increasing of energy communities in Greece and also in Western Macedonia, but not for self-consumption, not non-profitable energy communities, but energy communities with a goal to earn profits for the owners and the members of these energy communities. Next slide, please. Next slide is some other figures about the same issue. Energy communities are really strong. We strongly believe that energy communities must play an important role in the smooth and just transition to the post-lignite era. And our proposal is to preparation and implementation of a large and comprehensive development plan from non-profitable energy communities in Western Macedonia, with the aim to implementing virtual net metering. Now is not in use virtual net metering. We have net billing, of course, a project that will cover as many households and businesses in the area as possible. Next slide. These are objectives: to establish areas and infrastructure to meet energy needs of households and businesses in the area, promotion of energy saving projects and actions, promoting the idea of energy communities. And we strongly believe that energy communities are the most genuine way for citizens to participate in the energy transition in a zero CO2 emissions economy. Next slide. And of course, this is the main. I was also mayor for Kozani for 5 years, and I strongly believe that local authorities and special municipalities have a very important role to play in this transition because they have the ability to be so close with the society. Next slide, please. This is Ophelos network. We established an Ophelos, a network, a political body, as I can say, in order to coordinate our, job of all energy communities in the area. We want to promote the promotion of energy, non-profitable energy communities, and of course to pressure in different bodies, local stakeholders, and especially government ministries about our purposes and our goals. Next slide, please. Here is some views. I want to say very briefly that in this area, especially due to the climate, local climate pressure, it's not. We have a very important problem with energy poverty. The winter here is strong. The people, especially in rural areas, have important, strong problem about energy poverty. Next slide. And this is a study that depicts this problem in this, slide. This is from a village. 46% of the people, the households use still oil, and we need. And our proposal is to say that we need energy communities as an important tool for an energy transition. Next slide, please. Of course, this is also some figures. Next slide. Next slide. This also is not a very important issue. We need an ecosystem where we have tried to organize an ecosystem, and we need synergies for energy communities with local stakeholders, university, municipalities, the PPC, of course, and other institutions to provide this pathway for a smooth transition and the participation of the people. Next slide.
And of course, if you could try to finish. Sorry.
Yes, I'm trying. Next slide. This is financial resources. I'm closing. Next slide. Okay, we have a submission. We submitted. We have a main problem. Next slide. I will close very briefly because no, I don't have time. We have some problems here, very important problems. Next slide. I will use only one slide and close my presentation. Next slide, please. Okay, here is the final slide. It is the critical issues for energy communities in the Western Macedonia, not in Western Macedonia, and also in Greece. No access to grid. We need a financial plug for non-profitable energy communities, special for projects of self-consumption. And we need the participation of the people. It's a very important issue. Stakeholder cooperation to build a cooperative ecosystem, and last, a complementarity with other programs and initiatives. We need a holistic plan to solve the energy problem of the area and of the region. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry for technical issues and for the time.
Thank you very much, Lefteris. I think the technical issues have struck us all today. That was a very useful presentation, and I can now open for about just 5 minutes of questions. Sorry for the short time. I just wanted to highlight that at least what jumped out at me from all these 4 presentations was how important trust building really is in terms of engaging different stakeholders. So it comes across in terms of the Ullafora Fund in Norway with the public and private partnerships. Of course, also the energy communities, the Green Hub, and also, of course, Stara Zagora's peer-to-peer lending in terms of you can only get the funding if you really promote yourself to your audience in that sense. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about any of these experiences, any of these initiatives. Yes, Tilda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I accidentally had a phone call, so I didn't hear all of the Norwegian presentation. So maybe you said this already, but who can apply for the fund?
Okay, so I'll do my best to answer this on behalf of Trude, who manages the fund. She had to leave to go to another meeting. Let's see, it's basically private and public entities that can apply for this. There's a cap, I think, of 2 million kroners, I think, if I remember correctly. So the only thing it doesn't support, let's see, is like regular operational expenditure. normal, we call it driftskostnad, is not there, or yeah, it's not.
I understood.
It's not covered. So it needs to be the application needs to have a project description with a overview of the activities and what the activities have the expected cost related to the specific activities. I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, and I see one of my participants. I have a stakeholder, in my participating here. She made the point here that an excellent point that it needs to be that the applicant needs to be having a base in the Rogaland region in our county. So that's one of the requirements as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Nieves?
Cecilia. Thank you, Tilda.
Yes, hi. This is a question for Gabriela regarding the P2P lending. I was just curious to know if there are any requirements for SMEs to participate in this P2P lending, and how many projects have you been able to fund through this mechanism, like maybe in the last year?
Oh, there are regulations, as I mentioned. They're as well local and on European level. So I highly underline that it is very advisable to check how it works in your region, because it seems every country has their setups. But there is a European organization which defines all the regulations, and you can check it as well. It was the European Crowdfunding Service Provider Association. And as for the number of the companies, I tried to work with companies from our region or close to our region, and also with well-known or profitable companies. And these are the 4 that I outlined. I actually didn't find statistics on how much, because I suppose a lot of companies try, but only some of them succeed.
Thank you, Gabriela. Lefteris, you have a question?
Yeah, very briefly, I don't know if there is still time, Liana. I have a very quick question to Tilde. Tilde, I'm really impressed from the approach of building trust based on personal relationships and paying by your time in this approach. It sounds to me as a positive sum game, and the question is, how did you manage to organize this practically? Because I assume that you need someone who pull ahead all this process, to organize, to play the role of moderator, to pay a lot of attention and to be dedicated. How did you manage practically this fantastic achievement?
Yes, so it was Aalborg municipality that started the initiative, and we are sort of like the capital municipality in the region, and the capital city of Aalborg for the region. And we wanted more collaboration with the entire region. And as we are the largest municipality, we felt like we need to be like the power and the engine for this. So Aalborg municipality chose to allocate one person entirely to this project. So that is my team lead. And then we decided that everyone that works in green transition and business, we are 7 of us, we all employed by Aalborg municipality, but we all work under the Green Hub name. That is why when you get an email from me, it says Green Hub Denmark in the email signature and not Aalborg municipality. because we are sort of the secretariat. So it is us that calls these meetings every Wednesday and take the initiative to who will host the next in-person meeting. And then when that person has been chosen, or that region or that municipality, they take over and organize everything themselves. So we do have our municipality funding one person into this that does it full time. I don't think the other municipalities or partners have that. No. Does that answer?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. Rebecca, yes.
Yes, if I could I just have two more questions. One is to Gabriela. Could you just outline how SMEs apply for this type of crowdfunding? Sort of what does the application entail or involve? How is it more efficient than applying to traditional financial institutions? And then also to the Greek partners, you'd mentioned that you wanted to increase membership and participation, as well as improve local perception of the energy communities or the solar panels in the area. And I was wondering what strategies you have to do that.
I will start first. From my survey, it looks like that it's a really simple process, as the idea is the core of the presentation for the company. So they use the platform to describe their idea or business need. They do it in a provocative way or a way to catch attention often. They put, for example, an amount they would like to collect. They can offer samples or participation or some kind of promotion to the businesses which invest in them. So it's pretty open way to show your needs and to gather the funds you needed. What makes it different? It's that it's easy and puts the idea in the center, in my opinion, not only in mine. Well, yep. And it's the easiest way for the startups, especially, or the micro SMEs, to start their business or to fund a new idea or project. It doesn't have the regulations that the traditional banking or loan system puts them through. If you have a good idea, people believe in your businesses, you receive the funding.
Thank you, Gabby. There's also an important message from Cecily in the chat about P2P investments, but feel free to read it on your own time. I will just give some time to Lefteris to answer Rebecca's question, if you're still here.
Yeah, I will answer on behalf. So the question for Rebecca was how we engage the participation and uptake for these initiatives, right? Like make it more societal engaging. So because they are like NGOs and this community is now emerged, the communities are from all over the region that they are trying to pull the communities and engage them. So there is also with support of the regional government and the public initiatives that they own, they do. So it is actually an ongoing progress which combines a strategy for having the non-profit energy communities that they were based all together with their networks, and then with the provisions of the financial support and the priorities that they are trying to make, they are taking hosting initiatives, meetings, educational dissemination initiatives in order to try and reach as many community, like the people that are going to be affected, and also in the communities and the cities and the regions in the Western Macedonia region that it is affected by the transition. So it's not on a national level. that it is it's a dissemination on like a regional level, trying with the network to expand and the region, not acknowledge, but inform with ongoing community projects to inform as many and engage as many people as possible, and sensitize them over this process. Sensibilize also.
Thank you, Debbie. I just have to say, I have to leave because I have a meeting at 10 technically, but Rachel, I know you have a question, so I invite anyone who can still stay on to stay. I'll just have to log out, but thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Liana.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, mine's just a quick question for Gabriela. When you were speaking before about the funding, I just wanted to check if the funding raised for the new companies is only related to their economic activity. Initially, in the examples you showed, there were like new business models. So does it have to be like what would seem a profitable business model, or could this funding also be received for support in the SME in the green transition?
Yeah, sí.
Sorry, was this for me?
Yes. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it has to be related to the economic activity of the company, or could they also request this funding for sustainable initiatives that they would like to carry out within the company?
Thank you for the question. Absolutely, there is no limit. It depends mostly on how you present the initiative or the project to be funded. It's more of a marketing, so to say, to get the funds. In that way, that then actually checking your profits on our capital venture and so on. So the best part of it is that it's limitless, but you can use it as an option to fund a new project, or to like to add to something that you already have. Whatever works for the company, basically. But what will be the final outcome? It's unpredictable. It depends how the people or the businesses that would like to invest find this relevant to their interest, maybe at the moment or on the situation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for all of your questions, your presentations, and your time today as well. We're 10 minutes all over, so if nobody has any further questions, I think we can conclude the coffee break workshop now.